Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense. I try to keep it down and nitty gritty under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, I'm very fucking important. And not important to liberals, libertarians, people who believe in God, people who like to smoke, people who like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. Most of you massive asses, get the hell out of here right now. That's like 70 to 80% of you, maybe even 90%, because you're not going to listen to my cringiness. You're not going to make it past the 1 minute mark. You may think you're fast forwarding, but I do get to the point, but I talk about multiple subjects, which you can talk about. And of course, I give people vital information to talk about different subjects that are not usually on the internet. And if they're usually on the internet, that's because they copied off of me. Listeners' discretion is advised. I'm your friendly neighborhood Sexologist. If you have any comments, questions, insults, or rust, you put it down below. I get tons of hate in my videos, yeah, because as cringy as I do sound, of course, I am not scripting this. This is not all scripted. I'm just being myself. But the more of the subject for today is why Reflexes outbeats memorization, skills, and patience. Why does Reflexes beat out all three of those things? I'm making this video in connection with the Hollow Knight and the Sekiro, okay, and the Dark Souls, and also the Meat Boy, okay? Because I'm the one who talk about it. I'm the one who makes comparisons. Then people start copying off of it. It's okay. If one person hears me, I don't care. I do not own the rights off of freedom of speech. You hear me, you make the video. You tell me why you think Hollow Knight is harder than the rest of those. All right? And I'll tell you why I feel that way myself. I just made the video already. Okay? When it comes down to it, I just made a video about Hollow Knight. How Hollow Knight can be equally as difficult, or maybe even a little more, depending on who's playing and who's talking. It's definitely more difficult than fucking, Sekiro and Meat Boy. I think Meat Boy is probably a little higher though, because I died a lot of times. You can actually record all of the times you died in certain games in Super Meat Boy. Every time you die, you lying to yourself. Okay, in Super Meat Boy. Lots of people haven't beaten that game. I'm sure they haven't, okay? Lots of people probably haven't even beaten Hollow Knight or even Sekiro, okay? But I'm trying to tell you why Reflexes is more important in this video, why Reflexes is more important than your patience, your memorization, and also your skill. The first thing is that one day I'm driving down the street. No memorization or anything. I'm going to tell you the first, how Reflex beat memorization. Okay, we're going to talk about that thing first, okay? As I'm drumming down the street, as I'm driving, I said drumming? I mean driving, motherfuckers. I'm driving down the street. A voice tells me, look out for a deer. I'm like, because I'm schizoaffective. I'm Indigo child, okay? This actually fucking happened, okay? And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, I'm driving probably like 30 miles an hour in a 25 zone, okay? So I'm starting to speed up, okay? I'm like, yo, I want to get home. It's dry. It's dark. This is why Reflexes beat memorization. No memory of anything happening beforehand or whatever. Just a little voice telling me. Now, the thing is that even without the voice, my point is very clear. You're driving down, I'm going to give you two scenarios as a matter of fact. You're driving down the street. Next thing you know, a deer pops out in front of you, just out of the blue. Out of the blue. My first instinct is slow motion. For some reason, for people who have high reflexes, time tends to slow down for you. Wow, yeah. And that's happened to me on multiple occasions, especially when I'm driving really fast. Very fast. I'm driving at 60 to 70 miles an hour one day. Deer pops right in front of me, stands there while I'm just driving at 60 miles an hour. What is your first instinct when you see a deer? Do you swerve? No, you slow down as hard as you can. You slam on the fucking brakes. You do not swerve to the left and you do not swerve to the right. You do not do those things. You stay focused. And just barely, the fucking deer jumped out of the way before I smashed into the little motherfuckers. So, a reflex beats memorization. Okay, follow me here. Since my reflexes were there, I didn't take the reflex to turn to the left or the right. I'm gonna tell you something else. I remember, when was my reflexes used? A black belt. As a matter of fact, I wanted to prove to myself that my reflexes is higher than his his skill, and his movements. Okay, patience or whatever memorization. I don't care what your skill is. If your reflexes is right up there on the top. Now I stood next to him. I said, I want to do this test. Now he stood like a little shorter than me. He's always talking a lot of nonsense. He had braids in his hair somewhere where I lived at. And I said, okay, I want you to try to smack me. You can do a fake, faking. Now the thing is that when you fake, I can still see you. You're not moving as fast when you're faking. Okay? So he happened to try to swing at me, like fake swing, and do a fint. A fint, faking, signature, fake. You try to give him a movement. I'm not even looking at the little motherfucker. He's a little shorter than me now here. And he says he was a black belt. I was trying to prove my point to say reflexes is better. Okay, so prove it. Okay. So next thing you know, roughly, he tried to swing. And when I saw his hand move slowly, only for people who have high reflexes can know what I'm talking about here. And I blocked him with my wrist, the wrist of my watch. He put his finger in my watch. He was moving. He moved so fast. I had my glasses on, and he didn't even knock my glasses off. So he put his finger into my watch, and it hurt his finger, and it cut his finger. And it broke my watch. My watch got broken, okay? And he was like, oh, okay, so all the other swinging is irrelevant. My point was very clear. Very simple, okay? And then so he was like, yeah, I'm cool with you, man. Yeah, I said reflexes beat out everything. No matter how well you can memorize something. If you're walking down the hall and something's about to chop you, okay, the first thing is that the air atmosphere changes. And before you know it, you can actually see the person within a glimpse of your second, your third. I can't really describe what the fuck it is. It has happened to me on multiple occasions. When someone would try to swing, like a sucker punch, I deflect the sucker punch, and that person's that close up on me. How do I do that? I don't know. I think certain people are born with it, and some people are not. So when it comes down to memorization, it beats memorization because you don't have to remember nothing. It's a reaction time. And then when it comes to skill, no matter how much you learn, it doesn't matter how much you learn. That's because the karate man was in front of me right there. He said he got all these skills. I'm like, skills ain't got nothing to do with fucking reflexes. I tried to tell my brother the same thing. Teach your child. If your child is not already born with the reflex, then they may need to learn something to beat my reflexes. You understand? Bruce Lee had high-level reflexes. High-level reflexes. You can learn all you want. But if I can see your telegraphed signatures of what you're doing, you're no match against me. This is why I say, hey, you don't want to do that, okay? Just, don't pull out guns when I can see what you're doing. I could walk up on you. You ain't going to be able to shoot. You could shoot like da-da-da. You could have an Uzi and still won't be able to hit me because I can see you. Kenshi Himura, the best reflex individual, invincible swordsman ever, which nobody talks about. Because he's OP, that's why. He cuts through your defense. You can't block against. If he has a real sword, you can't block against a person who can go cut through your defenses. Look up Kenshi Himura, the anime. Now, what else is there? We beat out memorization. We beat out skill. The next one is patience. Now, patience may be able to beat reflex, but if you're not born with the reflex, you could take all of the time you want. I played Hollow Knight forever, and I was like, yo, I died so many times in Hollow Knight because you have you swinging quickly. The stage is changing. You even on a 2D platform. It is on 2D. You're not 3D. 3D gives you more open space. So that's why I tell people, don't compare apples to oranges. You have a 3D space in fucking Dark Souls. Okay? And you don't have a 3D space in Hollow Knight. So you have a limited amount of spaces. And your reflexes better be on cue because everything's unpredictable. Now, unpredictability proves my point about how much you learn. You remember, it doesn't matter because everything is changing as you move. As you move, this is going to happen if you move over here. This is going to happen. It's dynamic. Your reflexes must be on point. This is why reflexes beat out skill, patience, memorization. Now, you can use a little bit of knowledge by using some skills and learning, but that might not help you no matter how much defense you have. Because if you keep getting hit and you're not your reflexes are not there, you can't play the game. You can't play the game, dog. So that's all I wanted to say, brothers and sisters of Light and Dark. Is there anything else I need to say about beyond that? I don't think so. I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. Y'all have a good motherfucking day, okay? I made myself very clear. And if you think that's subjective, after I clarified that shit, let me see. Let me go devil's advocate down the road here. I'm gonna go over 10 minutes with this here. I want to know how patience. Well, patience can't really help if a person's reflexes is already like skyrocket. You might have to use a certain type of skill to where that person can't. It's unavoidable. Like for example, unpredictability can defeat someone. Now, unpredictability, however, if learned, like Kenji Himura, most of his enemies in the anime, look up Samurai X, assume that by blocking, that was their first instinct so they can defend the clear cut, right? But if you have unpredictability and a person's a high reflex individual like Kenji Himura, you can kill him. Okay, you got to catch him off guard, even with someone he loves. Okay, I think that's the only thing that can beat reflex. Darkness, turn the dark off. Okay, even when the dark, the person reflexes could be superiorly high, but if they're not used to the dark, that's the only way to defeat them. Okay, so unpredictably can beat reflex. Patience, by learning about a weakness of a person, that's another way to beat someone who has a high level of reflex. When I play games, I play them on hard naturally. Okay, I play them on hard. I do not play on normal. It's too easy for me. Too easy. I don't play extremely hard. If I were to play Doom Eternal, I would not play that shit on extremely hard. Because I don't want to die over and over 100 times. If I have to die 100 times on the stage, if you die 100 times on the stage, that determines your level of reflex. And I know some people who can play games like Dragon Ball and Mortal Kombat with combination skills and their reflexes is on point. I think when I do combinations and I play fighting games, I get the correct combination down, but it's going too fast. The control is not registering what I'm asking for. So that's why I don't like a lot of games like Bloody. I love Bloody Roar. I love half circle moons and stuff like that, but I don't want it to go half circle full moon, backwards forward, A B. If you tell me that, I'm gonna do it as fast as I can. And if it don't get pulled off, then you can see my point of what I'm saying, that my reflexes is really high. I am faster than the buttons that you're putting down in the code. But I see people playing it. They're just at the right speed playing these games called Dragon Ball Z and Street Fighter, okay? But I don't like all them combination buttons and series. It's too much to learn, too much memorization. I like to play games mainly for fun and competitive sport, but never really down the deep end of real competitive, like really, really, really super fucking hard. It depends on the game. All right? So that's all I really wanted to say about that, brothers and sisters. If you want to know your reflexes, count how many times you die. If you die over 50 times, the reflexes are not there. If you're not progressing after that one point, there's a point in the game. Like my daughter, she keep playing game, and we actually beat some difficult fucking games, man. We beat Bleed 2, okay? We beat Bleed 2. And I couldn't believe it, okay? We beat Rayman Legends, and those games are not easy. She kept dying, and I kept dying because we playing 2 players. Understand this. Most women don't like reflex games. They play the little girly games, 3-color games. I said most girls. I always make my verbs very clear. But other than that, that's all I wanted to say about reflexes. Reflexes beat out a lot of things, okay? And you don't even have to be looking. I remember one time I was in school one day. I heard the sound of a pea coming towards my way because somebody flinged it. Somebody flinged it towards me. And I heard the sound. I heard it. Think what I'm saying when I say reflexes. It's some sort of Zen mode. I can't really describe what it is, but I usually try to tell people you don't want to fight. I'd rather fight 3 of you than there's rather 1. Okay? I fought people behind me, in front of me. I had been in fights in my life, and I just didn't want to fight because I was slapping them. And that's all I was doing, slapping them. They couldn't punch me. They couldn't hit me. Because I can maneuver out of their way. I can see all their movements. That's why I don't want to fight. I'll try to get the father involved. I say, hey, you see this hand? Okay, and I don't care if they judo or not. It's just, maybe their reflexes are higher. Maybe they might want to kick my ass, but they want to do that. Why would somebody with high reflexes want to fight somebody anyway? I wouldn't want to test that. But this is all therapeutic to me. I'm talking about gaming now because my boy Dito got me all feistered. I'm like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know psychology. You're younger than me. Lots of people on the internet are pretty young. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But use psychology and you'll proceed past all this nonsense and shit that people put out there. Listen to the people when I'm saying I tell you the truth, man. Reflexes far supersedes memorization, skills, and motherfucking memorization skills and patience. Trust me, it beats it hands down. So don't apples to oranges, don't do it, okay? It's a waste of time. Peace.